Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Phoenix, Arizona, it's time for Phoenix Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Welcome to Life Made to Order, broadcasting live right here in Phoenix Business Radio X studios in beautiful Tempe, Arizona. We're your host, Wesley Henriksen.
And I am Trudy Kaiser with Life Made to Order Financial Phoenix. Life Made to Order is a way of life, a belief that each one of us has the power to orchestrate our ideal experiences in life. Wow, I just got a little emotional there, particularly in business and finances.
Our show will air each month and focus on local entrepreneurs that have used this philosophy to grow their businesses and be successful.
We're going to start each show by sharing our own Life Made to Order moments. Wes, would you like to start?
The LMTO financial team was invited to have a tour of the Mesa Police Department's forensic lab, which was pretty cool. Our guide was Michelle Powell. She's been a forensic scientist for 13 years. And one of the coolest parts of the tour is they have a gun collection in the hallway, and the guns are from TV shows and movies like the Andy Griffith Show. They have Barney Fife's revolver and also a single bullet that he kept in his shirt pocket. They also have Roger Moore's our 007 played along, and they had on display his Walther PPK, and then I also had a automatic shotgun from the movie Mad Max. A little bit later in the week, my wife Susan was invited to join Kelly Durham, owner of K. Durham Law, to play in the golf charity outing for the Phoenix Zoo. And she did win an award to closest to the pin on a par 3. Didn't see it myself, but she said it was closest to the hole. Now, that's what I call living a life made to order.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Trudy, how about you?
Mine, it was a little bit more on a personal note. I hope all of you out there celebrated Easter this weekend. My husband and I got to go to California and hang out with our family and see the best mother-in-law in the world. Are you listening, Mom, right now? The best mother-in-law in the world, and my father-in-law as well, and got to hang out with my little nephew, Louie. Oh, he's so cute. He's 4 years old, and he loves his Aunt Trudy. He calls me Miss Trudy. He says, Miss Trudy, I love you. And he's just so sweet, and it was just amazing. So if I could bring him home with me, I probably would, but I can't. So I would call that living a life made to order right there.
At this time, we'd like to give a shout-out to thank our sponsors, Mr. Devin Elvesworth with VIP Mortgage and Team Referral Network Phoenix. If you're thinking of financing a new home or refinancing your current home, Devin Ellsworth with VIP Mortgage offers programs and products to fit your unique financial situation. Offering top-notch customer service, fast closing, and experience, Devin and his team will work with you to make your dreams come true. Even if you're just thinking about home financing, set up a time to talk to Devin so you know what your options are. You can call him today at area code 480-452-5308. That's 480-452-5308. VIP Mortgage NMLS numbers 145502 and 1504692. Equal housing lender.
For our business owners and entrepreneurs out there, I got a question for you. What does your business look like? Is it where you thought it would be? Or are you hearing sounds of success? Or do you want to cry every night? Do you ever feel alone in your business? Do thoughts creep into your head about wanting to give up, or what can I do? Or I've tried everything to get a client. If your business doesn't feel like it's where it should be, if success doesn't look like what you thought it would, if you're tired of thinking you're alone, then know there is a way to grow your business that will look and sound different. Most businesses can't afford a sales team, so we believe success happens when you allow yourself to join one. Team Referral Network is actively expanding in the Phoenix area. Go to teamreferralnetwork.com or call 858-229-8599 for more information. So we're going to hop right in today. Our guests I'm so excited to have you ladies on today. Our guests are Wendy Look with Crest Insurance and Ronit Urman, owner of Urman Enterprises, LLC, and she is also the outgoing Phoenix chapter president of Naboo, which stands for National Association of Women Business Owners. So, Wes, you want to kick us off there?
Let's start with Wendy. Wendy, what is it? Tell us about what you do.
Thank you, Wes. I am an employee benefits consultant. So I've been doing this for 23 years. I help employers set up their employee benefit plans, educate them, and educate their employees.
Awesome. What about you, Ronit?
My background is in accounting.
Mm-hmm.
However, for the last 32 years since I got married, I've been working with my husband in real estate. We've done a lot of development, and currently we owners and manager of multi-tenant industrial buildings, office building, office medical, and we also work with a lot of investors, and I have a great passion for that. We find them the property that they like to invest in real estate, and we also stay behind them and manage the property on their behalf.
Is that commercial real estate?
Commercial and residential.
Okay, awesome. Good. So you do fourplexes, duplexes, that sort of thing as well?
As well.
Okay, awesome. So the whole gamut then.
Yes.
Fantastic. So Wendy, sorry, Wes, go ahead.
Not a problem.
I want to ask questions.
You know,
Always. I want to
Wendy,
ask questions.
we're going to ask about the Affordable Care Act. How has the Affordable Care Act changed your role as an employee benefits consultant?
That's a great question. Wow. The Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, was passed on March 23rd, 2010, which also is my wedding anniversary. So I remember that date very well. Parts of the law went into effect, right away. And then over the course of the years, by 2014, for the most part, all of the parts of the law were enacted. It made some brokers were afraid and thought, oh my gosh, and they left the business. They didn't want to understand the law. The rest of us took the time to understand the law, and our clients decided they needed to be much more engaged. So that was really helpful. I went from just working with maybe the HR director to the CFO, CEO, COO, because of the way the Affordable Care Act worked, it affected their business in lots of different ways, and they needed to understand it. So it's made us much more consultative in our business.
That's good. Now, do you work primarily just with individuals or primarily with just companies?
Me personally, I only work in the group space. So I work with employer groups to set up their employer-sponsored health plans. My firm has a whole nother group that works with individuals, people looking for Medicare. So we definitely have people to help with all of that. But I'm just on the group space.
Perfect. So I have another question. Sorry, Wes, if I jumped in, but I'm always curious about this healthcare thing because, when I first got started in the business of insurance myself, I was thinking about doing healthcare. And back then, there was a lot of people that were like, oh yeah, get into healthcare. There's a lot of money to be made and blah, blah, blah. And it was very hard to understand, first of all. And secondly, when that whole ACA happened, it was kind of devastating to us as consumers as well, because the prices went up. And as an entrepreneur, it's really difficult to find some good health insurance out there. There's all kinds of, I'm telling you, I sat down with someone a couple of weeks ago and I thought my mind was going to blow up. There was smoke coming out of my ears at that point. And so to hear you say that it's a very consultative form of selling is really wonderful because I think education is a huge part of it now. And do you guys kind of focus on that education part as well, or how does that work?
I think that's one of the most important parts is educating our employers on what their options are and how to make the benefits package something that their employees will actually view as a benefit, something that they can understand and use, and then also stay in compliance with not just the Affordable Care Act, but every other ERISA, FMLA, COBRA. So many other federal laws come into play, and ACA is just the one that most people talk about right now. And then on the other side about the education is I think I wanted to be a teacher when I was younger. I love to do open enrollment meetings, and I love to educate employees.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is the Affordable Care Act going to hold up? Is it going to live?
I wish I had that crystal ball because that would really make a big difference. Yeah. But it's hard to say. Parts of it, the consumer parts of it where, we can allow our children to stay on to age 26, kind of a big deal for some people, but also covering pre-existing conditions. Yeah. That I see staying. That's going to be super hard to ever take away. I mean, you still have HIPAA that covered that as well, but I have a feeling, if anything, that part will stay.
How did it work before Obamacare? Were there pre-existing conditions at that point? Because honestly, I don't remember. I don't recall.
So yes and no. If you had prior coverage and you left your job and then you didn't have a lapse of coverage more than 63 days, then you got that credit from your 5 years of your prior job counted. But then here in Arizona, a lot of our vendors, the Blue Cross, United Healthcare, Aetna's of the world, when you had over 50 employees, they just took out pre-existing altogether. Yeah. It was just easier just to
get rid of it.
You're covered on the first day.
Nice. So headed over to you, Ronit. Why should one invest in real estate?
If you like to be more in control of what you own, I think real estate is a good place for it. When you invest in stocks and things of that nature, you really don't have much control.
It's like a roller coaster.
Exactly. So with real estate, you really hands-on with making the decision, with picking the right property for you, with watching it grow and succeed with it. You can make changes. So if the market changes or there is damage or something happens, you can improve it. You are in control. So that's one of the reasons that I like it.
What is one of the main reasons that you should have someone to, my husband and I talk about this all the time, and I'm sure he's probably talked Wes's ear off about it as well at one point at dinner or whatever that we've hung out. And he is, he's always wanting to invest in real estate, right? And flips and do all this stuff. And I'm like, how many houses do you want to own? He said 1,000. And I was like, oh my God, who's going to manage that? So what is the advantage of having a management company like yourself help someone do that?
I think it's very, very important. Most people have other jobs and things to do, so that's not their main focus and where they spend their time and the experience. It's also very good to be from the outsider other than from the insider. So let's take a single family home, for example, because that's what you were saying. You bought a property and you want to lease it out. If you as the landlord wants to lease it out and the tenant will ask you, who are you? Then right away they want to negotiate directly with you. They want to give you their sad story and things of that nature. Everything works out great the first couple of months, and before you know it, something happens.
Exactly.
So the management company actually takes the emotions out of
completely. There is no emotion. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if the owner wants to be tougher, he doesn't have to do it.
Yeah,
he has
you guys can.
We have to do it,
Do you charge extra for that?
Sometimes I wish we would.
This is the tougher charge right here.
But I have to say, we are really trying to be very fair to both sides. So obviously, the landlord is our client, and we have our fiduciary responsibility to him. But the tenant, many of the time, we care about them.
Exactly.
And there is rules that we know that they have to follow.
They're also the client.
And they're also the client, exactly. And so it's very, very important. I have a little story for you. I had a great investor. They invested a lot of money here during the recession. And in 2013, 14, the prices doubled and from what they invested, and they were like, okay, we should take that money and reinvest, but not in Arizona anymore because the prices are too high.
It's going up.
So we will go out of state. And a couple of them do not reside in the United States. And they said, Ronit, would you go to Atlanta and look at some properties for us? And I'm like, I don't know the Atlanta. I don't know the market in that particular area. I said, yes, but you do understand real estate. So I trust you to look for something, consult with a local realtor and find us properties, which I did. And they got a couple of properties and they were very good. I found them a local property manager over there to take care of it. but they felt that that particular company was too expensive for them. And they went someplace else.
I see.
Well, the other company did not do inspections, did not care. And let me tell you.
You get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
What you pay for.
And they lost a lot of money.
Oh, no. That's terrible. I had a client actually who had a property. Her husband passed away and he took care of everything like many families are. And they had been married for 37 years, long time. And she was just devastated and she had to take care of all this stuff and she had no clue how to do it. She had a property up in Missouri and she went to visit it and they had destroyed that place. They had been growing marijuana in the basement and selling it. And now it was just, she goes, I can't even tell you how much of a nightmare this is. And because they did not have a management company taking care of it, they just, and I felt so bad for her. But at the same time, you pay for what you get, right?
Absolutely. If you are local and let's say your husband buy a house that's just around the corner from you guys.
That's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different. But then
house.
again, you can give it to us or to another company to do the leasing for you. However, you continue to manage it.
Yeah.
But you do need to be hands-on.
So they're separate. And I would say you need to be hands-on with the company that you work with as well and have very good open communication. It sounds like you guys have that. Been in business for a long time. So.
Very long.
Awesome.
Well, Wendy, how is it that you go about educating your clients' employees?
During the annual open enrollment process, we'll have client meetings or open enrollment meetings. And, I don't sit there and just read them the benefit summary and say, here's your copay. But it's real important for me for people to understand people will buy or choose the most expensive plan because I think it's the best. Or they pick the least expensive plan because I think that's all they can afford. And I like to educate them on why one plan might be great for you, different plan is great for me. And usually the most expensive plan is not the one I usually pick. So, but I like to, educate the employees too on how to use the plan and how to keep more money in their pocket, how to be a wise consumer, how to, we have so many different access points for care. And people go, what do you mean by that? And I go, well, you have your primary care, you have a specialist, you have urgent care, you have those convenience care clinics inside the Walgreens and CVS. And one thing that's new in the last couple of years is telemedicine or virtual visits, totally different than a nurse line. You have a doctor visit over the phone, on Skype, FaceTime, what have you, with a licensed doctor in the state in which you're calling. Which is awesome.
It is
24/7, 365.
That's amazing.
And depending on the plan, it could be a copay, it could be free. The plan that I have for my family, when my daughter calls, it doesn't cost her anything. Calls in the middle of the night. And they're doctors, and because they're doctors, they can call in a prescription for you.
Nice.
So she called in, Mom, I don't feel good. She's 23. I don't feel good. I go, call, healthiest you. Oh. So she finally calls and she's like, Mom, they diagnosed me with the flu. And then they called in her prescription and her boyfriend, fiance went and picked it up.
Nice.
What do they do about taking your blood pressure and things like that?
Well, there's certain things they cannot do over the phone.
Right.
But other things, they can ask you to take your own temperature, right? They can look and say, oh, yeah, that's pink eye. But
that's a rash, or
that's a rash.
That's a broken finger.
Yeah.
Get to the hospital.
Yeah. You can take pictures, and some of the vendors are starting to offer like dermatology. So then you would take a picture of that rash or that mole that you're concerned about and upload it. And then, the provider will call you. So it's just those different access points, because a lot of people just don't see all that. All they know is I have a $30 copay when I go see my primary care.
Right.
Kind of beats sitting in a waiting room, doesn't it?
That is such a great point. And that's true, because they say 70% of all the reasons why we go to the doctor, those visits could be taken care of over the phone.
Wow.
So the convenience of not having to drive somewhere, depending on how sick you are, trying to get out of bed sometimes is not necessarily the easiest thing to do.
Right. Seems pretty quick.
Yeah. I had my call the other day as I was driving down Camelback. And as soon as, because they called me back, and I pulled over right into the drugstore parking lot because I knew they were going to tell me to get something.
Yeah.
So it was perfect. So those are just some of the things I like to educate employees on, of different ways you can access care, keep more time, money in your pocket. I also tell them to shop for prescriptions. Don't just go to the place on the corner.
Yeah.
There's some great consumer sites that you just type in, Lipitor or Synthroid, whatever it is you take, and it'll tell you where you can get it for the least amount of money.
Nice.
That might be still using your health plan, or it might be using a coupon you got text to your phone. So
it's changed a lot.
It's changed a lot.
Companies like GoodRx.
Yes.
Thank you. That's one of I like them a lot.
Yeah.
I get a text coupon for my son's prescription. It's awesome. I go to Walmart for my $3 Synthroid. I mean, it's definitely a way to keep more money in your pocket, and it doesn't take that much more time. Everyone's sitting there flipping on their phone. I don't have time to look this up. I'm like, you just sat there for 30 minutes
on Facebook
or Instagram or whatever. You have a couple minutes, and when you realize the savings,
you just took 10 selfies trying to get the right one.
Well, and so my Cocker Spaniel had glaucoma and needed eye drops. Well, it's people eye drops.
Yeah.
So I got a coupon from GoodRx.
There you go.
And I saved like $40.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. After, being diagnosed with glaucoma cost me a little more than that. But so those are the things I like to educate my clients and their employees on, just so they use the health plan wisely, know the options that are available to them.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
That is awesome. Thank you for being that person that does that, because seriously, it is mind blowing to me. I can't even tell you how confusing it can be. So Ronit, I have a pretty cool question for you. And that is, if someone does want to invest, when would be the best time? Like when you're broke on the corner, or like when you're like, oh, I just got this new job and I'm making more money, or when would be the best time to invest for someone?
I think the best time to invest when you have that extra money that will not affect your life right now.
That's a great answer. It's the kind of answer I was looking for, Wes.
Yeah. If you need to worry that you won't be able to make your mortgage payment or something like this, or you don't have enough money aside in case you lose your job or something, don't invest yet. Yeah. And I also encourage you, when you do invest, that you have enough money in the game, at least 20%.
Right, because that makes a difference when you're purchasing.
What do you think of group investing?
That's a good question.
It's a very good question. It depends, again, how much money do you have? Who is the group
Who's the group?
Who are you buying with? With a few of your neighbors? Or is it a REIT? Or what is it that you're looking, and how much money are you looking to invest in?
I see.
I heard you mention a REIT. Is that Arizona Real Estate Investment?
Yeah, different types of larger.
My husband joined that group, and I'll tell you, there's some amazing people there. It's not that I'm going to promote them, but seriously, if you're looking to invest, they do a lot of training and a lot of education when it comes to investing. Now, do you guys hold workshops or anything like that, or do any kind of education like that? Or is it basically just people come to you, you got referral, and then you walk them through it, or how does that work?
It's mostly by referral and people that we know, and one-on-one. So no, we do not work, we don't do any current workshop. It's actually not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all. But I always very open to meet the client and make sure that it is a good fit for them.
Yeah. And I have a feeling you're the type of person who would tell them no if it wasn't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have to say that just recently I was working with a client that had her own business, and she was renting a space, and she did not use me when she leased the space. And apparently what was promised and what was delivered was very different story. And she had to get out of the lease. And I advised her how to do that, and everything worked out, and we are looking for new spaces. She really liked most of the spaces that we showed her, that they were actually less expensive than where she was today. But when I guided her and got her financial to present to the landlords, we found out that she's really not in a very good place. And honestly, I took it upon myself to sit her down and explain to her that she really should not be committing for something like this.
Yeah. That's awesome to hear, because it's very rare, I think, nowadays too, for people to not be motivated by money, you know, and want to be able to just, let's just get the sale. Let's just get them in here.
No, I want to sleep good at night.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was just going to say.
I was just going to say, yeah, that's awesome.
I ended up with a beautiful spa day, so I can't complain.
We have a saying in our business, we call it SWAN. It's sleep well at night.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, Wendy, what does it mean to be an independent insurance agent, and how does it benefit your clients?
So being an independent insurance agent means that we have access to hundreds of different insurance companies across the country. Crest Insurance is a multi-line insurance agency. So besides the benefits on my side, we also do workers' compensation, property casualty, bonds. We have a whole aviation department, your own personal home and auto. So life insurance, we do all those different type of things. So we have access to all the different markets. So we're not just selling ABC company. We can look to find what works best for our client and not just the one product we have to sell. So that's what I like. It gives us more opportunities to be creative and really help our clients. Because insurance, unfortunately, I love insurance. My clients is not their most favorite thing.
It's not. It's so like exes. Get away from me. I don't want to talk about it.
We try to make it, not so boring. But being an independent does definitely help us, because then we're not tied.
Yeah.
Right.
Your hands aren't tied.
Exactly.
So you could actually insure our plane when we get our life made to order plane, is what you're telling us.
Of course. We'd love to.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
when
making
you get
sure.
your plane, we would love to write the insurance.
We're covered.
Your
We're
house.
covered, Wes. We're covered.
And one thing too, I was going to say, when you guys were talking about workshops, at Crest Insurance, in both our corporate office in Tucson and our Scottsdale office, we have classrooms that we actually built specifically to have client education meetings.
Nice.
Where we'll bring clients and prospects in, and it could be talking about cyber insurance, or last summer or summer before was all about the Arizona paid leave law.
Nice.
Actually, we had to move it out of our classrooms and into a hotel because we had too many RSVPs.
Well, I'm telling you, people don't understand how it works.
Yeah.
They don't. And it's just like us in life insurance and the living benefits and all that good stuff. People don't understand how it works, or they think they do, and then they get themselves in trouble because they thought they knew it thought it worked a certain way. And then, they turn around and they're like, oh my God, I'm not covered. And no, you're not. And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's great that you guys offer that sort of thing, because it's confusing to navigate through all that stuff.
I've definitely learned over the years that we have to ask a lot of questions, because what I think you understand and what you understand, and are we talking the same language? Not always.
Yeah.
And we could be two benefit brokers talking to each other sometimes too. So understanding where people are coming from, and I don't want to tell you everything you already know, but let's just make sure we're on the same
page,
because I don't want someone coming to me later going, well, if I would have known, I would have,
done this or that.
Yeah.
It's definitely a crazy thing. So I'm excited to hear about that aviation insurance, though. That's great.
We'll work on that for you.
It's amazing what happens when you start thinking about that and manifesting that. It's that whole life made to order thing, right? These people just start showing up in your lives that my husband and I were just talking about that the other day. Like, what is life going to be like when we have a plane? And then bam, you start talking about aviation insurance. And next week I'm probably going to meet a plane salesman. So there you go. That's how that's going to work. So, Ronit, can you tell us a little bit about some of the organizations that you're involved in, more specifically Naboo?
Absolutely. I've been involved in Naboo for about 6 years. It's National Association of Women Business Owners, and I really like that group from the very beginning. I am not big on networking, and I never felt comfortable walking into a networking and and everybody's checking you out from toes to your head, and you give out business cards, and you know that nothing ever happens with those business cards. Maybe one or two that you will still remember. And I just didn't like that. Somebody suggested to come to Naboo, and I did, and it just felt very comfortable from the moment you walked in. It was okay to ask somebody, what is it that you do? And I started getting more involved. Sometimes I will come to the meeting, learn something new. Sometimes I didn't. And then finally somebody asked me to get more involved on the board. They needed the finance person. And so I got involved with that. And then I start really seeing what's going on behind the scene and learning more about what is the organization, what do they stand for, what they are looking to achieve, what do I looking to give. And at this stage in my life, I felt like this is a good place for me to give back. I mean, as much as I would love to give to the hospitals or do things like this, I'm not that nurturing type of a person. I can't see blood. I can't see any of this. So that would not be a good fit for me. However, I really enjoy talking to people and learning what they are doing and what do they want to do. So I got involved more with that and the mentoring program. And I saw what a difference I made with those mentees. And that was very, very rewarding for me. And till this day, one of them, I helped her find their first location.
Oh, wow.
So that was even financial reward, but most of it to see her rise to the top and succeed and everything. And to this day, she stays in contact. She calls me to pick my brain and that type of thing. So it's been really nice. I agreed to be the president. So
You agreed to be the president?
I agreed to be the president, and it's really a 3-year commitment. You have
Wow, I
first,
did not realize it was 3 years.
you have the year where you are the president elect. So you
Oh, that's the
learn
year-
it
yeah, you
before,
learn.
so you
Okay.
learn what's going on and everything. Then the year that you're president, and then the past president, where
Okay.
you support the group and everything. And it has been very, very rewarding for me. Totally took me out of my comfort zone. I don't think I will ever come and do this if somebody would have asked me before.
It didn't help that I asked you right in front of the whole entire meeting either.
How many members does Naboo have?
Well, Naboo Phoenix, we're just about 150 members, and we are still growing. Part of our membership is also corporate sponsors, and that gives a great opportunity for the smaller businesses to meet with larger businesses, and for larger businesses get information from the small businesses of what's going on and how they can
It's really a great
support them.
exchange.
Very, very good exchange. And we try to be, and I think we really succeeded this year with our business programs. You come in, you have some time to network, and then you sit at a table. It includes lunch, and you have a speaker or panel discussion. Last month, we actually had a debate. And
It was awesome.
and people hear, and then there's time to ask question, and then we have table discussion. So you're creating more of a one-on-one with the people that are at your table. So in the end of the day, you actually remember who you met and who you talked to, and it makes you understand or question what you just learned. So I like that concept very well.
Do you have any idea how many members are nationwide? Because it is a nationwide program.
It is.
yeah.
There are over 60 chapters
Oh, wow.
throughout the United States. You know what? I'm not sure, but it's in the tens of the thousands.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's some very large chapters.
Yeah. Is there one? I know when I moved out here from San Diego, there was one in San Diego, and they were constantly, Trudy, join Naboo. And I was like, I'm just not ready. I can't commit my time yet, because I believe if you're going to join something, you need to commit your time to it, right? And be able to actually be involved instead of just pay the money and not go. That makes no sense to me. But when I moved out here, I got a sense of exactly what you talked about. Like walking in, you feel comfortable. It's okay to walk up and just start talking to somebody about random stuff. Well, not really random stuff, but business and that type of thing. And the members that have been there for a while are so friendly and so warm and opening to you that they will actually go invite and introduce you to other women in the room. And I'll tell you, I joined Naboo in October of last year, and it has been such a pleasure to be able to be a part of Naboo, go to the neighborhood meetings, because they do have those little neighborhood meetings in places, and that monthly meeting up, and I'm telling you, it's at Gainey Ranch Country Club. It is a gorgeous scene when you're sitting there at the tables. Like I get mesmerized by the scene itself. And, it really is a great way. So what was the first initial? Somebody just said, hey, you should go visit Naboo, or how did you find out about Naboo?
I found out from previous members.
Okay.
I mean, they're still members, that they encouraged me to come and experience that. Whatever you give in, that's what you're going to get out.
Yep.
So it depends how busy you are. I understand. But our meetings are always set in like the second Wednesday of the month, or the third Thursday of the month.
So it's easy to plan for.
So it's very easy to plan for. Plus there are other opportunities, but it's the connection that you make. It's the relationship. You're not going to get business immediately from this, but it's the connection.
Yeah.
It's
the relationship
exactly.
building.
Like now I know what Wendy does.
Yeah.
So next time it's time for me to look for a new insurance. I was like, oh, I met Wendy. I was impressed. I will give her a call and see what she can do for me. And you learn new things.
Yeah.
It's
So,
called cultivating.
absolutely.
Collaboration.
Collaboration.
It's amazing. There.
And you learn how to take that collaboration outside of Naboo into your own business with others.
It's true.
So
it's true.
It's really great.
Can you tell us more? You mentioned about the mentor program. Can you tell us about that a little bit more?
The mentoring program is an award-winning program. It's built for 9 months, where you go through everything. If it's between setting up your goals, learning about your financials, how to look at your financials of your business, marketing, and at the same time, we also have roundtable discussion. So you get a chance to brainstorm with the group, not just with your mentor.
Okay, cool.
So it's really a great program.
I was told that I should go through the mentor program and then become a mentor. Is that a good way to go about it?
I think it is.
When you should go to Naboo?
I think it is. The program is built for people that have been in business already. So it's not for a brand new person. It's either you are at like kind of stuck and
want to get to that next level.
To the next level.
Can't afford $15,000 for a coach.
Exactly. So kind of kick back and look at things differently. Even as a mentor, you get a lot out of it.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I mean, I made some major changes just from being a mentor.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Wendy, tell us about your role as an insurance consultant.
Well, that's, kind of what I was mentioning earlier is I'm more of I always tell people, I don't sell you anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to present you options, discuss the options, kind of talk through what works best, and then we're going to pick something together. So, and then also that education as well.
Right.
That education piece. We know you love to play golf, Wendy.
That is a true statement.
Oh, I'm getting at that. We're going to start talking about the good stuff here pretty soon.
That's your gig, Wes. Why don't you ask her questions about golf that I know nothing about? I know.
Well, we know you love to play golf. What's your favorite golf course?
We're members at Arizona Country Club, so that's where I play the majority of the time. But if I have friends come in and they've never been here before, then I like to take them either out to Quintera or like True North, because the views are just so spectacular. So that's where I like to go. But I usually play at Arizona Country Club.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Wendy, how do you feel that the golf helped you with your business?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. You know, it's funny because all the men will tell you, oh, I do all this business, you know, out on the golf course. Well, I work with a lot of HR directors who are women who do not golf. So my golf is, now I'll go golf with prospects. We'll go out with some of my property casualty sales guys and their clients and a lot more that way. But it's different, I think, being a female.
That's interesting.
Because the men are dealing with the CFOs a little bit more. And
You're not intimidated by those guys, are you?
Oh, heck no. No. And they like to have me on their team if we're doing a scramble, that's for sure.
I'd probably have to say the same about Susan. That's Wes's wife. She's a beast on the golf course. I've heard anyway. She got that prize last week. So there's that.
She can hit it.
What other organizations are you involved in, Wendy, besides golf tournaments and heads of golf things, sponsorships and stuff like that?
Well, I do co-chair 2 golf tournaments here in town.
Okay.
One is in November at Greyhawk Golf Club for ICANN, which is the International Cancer Advocacy Network. That's an awesome, awesome tournament. And then I co-chair another one at Arizona Country Club, which is, we call it Teed Off at Breast Cancer. It benefits Honor Health Breast Research Center, and that's held in February, which is super fun. And that particular one, we just went and presented the big check to Honor Health a couple Fridays ago. And it was the biggest check that we've been doing this tournament like 10 years, 15 years, I forget. Wow. And it started off super small. This year we wrote a check for $60,000.
Wow. Beautiful.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. And then the outside of golf, I'm on the board of directors for Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest.
Okay, awesome.
So,
and how did you get involved in that?
You know, my a friend and a former colleague of mine is the executive director. She was the executive director at Sojourner Center, and now she's over at Lutheran Social Services. And she asked me, and I said yes.
And you said yes.
Yeah, I really believe in the programs that they have. So that definitely helped. I wasn't going in just because I was asked. But
so if someone didn't know about those programs, could you tell us a little bit about some of those programs?
Sure. So Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest is a little diverse in the programs that we offer.
Nice.
In Southern Arizona, we have a lot of in-home senior care and Meals on Wheels.
Oh, nice.
That's in Tucson. We don't, in Phoenix, we don't do Meals on Wheels. We have a food pantry here. But the one program that I really like is iHelp, and I wish I could remember what it stands for. It's International something. It's a program for homeless people.
Okay.
And the program we have in Mesa is strictly for women.
Oh, wow.
And we work in conjunction with churches, and they're not all Lutheran churches, and they're not all Christian-based churches either. Synagogues, temples.
Nice.
It's just a faith-based organization. So they have this one's out in Mesa, and they'll bring homeless women in. They meet at a certain spot and they get driven out to the church. They get to spend the night, have a hot meal.
Nice.
If there's showers, get showers. And then they bring the community support programs that are available. So there'll be a caseworker, let them know the different programs that they can get involved in. They spend the night, have a good breakfast, and then they go to the next church the next night. So it's all over. We also have that in the West Valley, and that is a co-ed program, and we're working really hard to drum up some additional support to offer a program like that in Surprise.
Okay.
Because believe it or not, Surprise, Arizona has a very large homeless population.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah. And then we also have our huge refugee program. And, you know, what's the difference between an asylum seeker and a refugee? Well, a refugee comes here with status. Mm-hmm. Most of them have been in refugee camps in Afghanistan, Somalia, what have you. They've been there for 10 plus years. They've gone through the process, and then they get to come to the United States. And the government works with a couple different organizations, and then they kind of go, okay, we're sending 5 families to Phoenix. We're sending 5 families to San Diego, what have you. And then Lutheran Social Services will you're getting a family on Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we have the apartment all set up for them, food's in the kitchen, and then we bring them and we teach them English.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's fantastic. So, Ronit, are you involved in any other charitable organizations as well?
I'm involved with my synagogue, but
Okay.
that's about it right now.
Awesome.
I probably
you-
will find something else that I'm going to put my time into now.
I was so impressed, when I read your bio, when you sent it to us, the very first thing that you, and I've always wanted to visit here, and I will go in my plane that's insured by Wendy to Israel. Ronit was born in Israel. Can you tell us about being born and growing up in Israel?
Absolutely. I was born in Israel, and I lived there until my senior year in high school, where my parents decided to relocate. And I came with them, and it was a difficult age, I would say 16 and a half in high school. But I love new things, and I just took it as something new. And my dad did promise to buy me a car, that living in Israel.
Did he bribe you?
Yeah, he did bribe me a little bit. Where in Israel, to have a car, especially 37 years ago, now everybody knows my age.
Don't look a day over 37. What
Thank
are you
you.
talking about?
It was a big deal. So
did you move to California?
we moved to California. We lived in California. I lived in California for 5 years, where I met my husband.
That had to be a major change.
It
for
was
you.
a major
Culture
change.
shock.
The easy part to it, there were huge Israeli community in Los Angeles area.
So you had support.
So I had support.
Nice.
But I felt from the very beginning that if I want to stay here, if I want to learn what this is all about, I need to mix with the locals, with the American, which I did. And I think that was very, very good.
Very helpful.
Very helpful. You learn the system, you learn the...
So you did have a mentor group, didn't you?
I guess I did. I guess I
There you
did.
go.
So we came to California, which was an easier transition than if we would have come to Arizona 37 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Now, how long have you been in Arizona?
In October, it will be 28 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been here that long, but it's only been 2.5. It seems like so much like home. It seems like home.
It really does. And more I travel, and when I come back,
the
this
happier,
is where-
this is home.
This is home.
Yeah.
I came here in 1971, and wow, the changes that I've
Oh,
seen.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was 1 year old then, just saying.
We came here in 91, and the changes that we've seen, and being in the real estate business,
wow, I
that
bet.
was just the right time to come here.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
I mean, everything was moving on the uprise. There were some great opportunities. It was after the saving and loan crash, and the RTC owned a lot of property here. So that's how we started, slowly but surely. So it was a really good timing.
I've heard a lot of people just having conversations about how real estate is happening here in Arizona and how hot, quote unquote, it is, that it's kind of mirroring what happened in 2018, and they're kind of scared about that. Do you experience that at all, or do you hear that at all? And
You mean what happened in 2008?
sorry, 2008, 2018.
I think one of the reasons Arizona
just last year.
even got out of it fairly fast is because we bring so many immigrants here from the Midwest, from the East Coast.
There's
from
tons
Canada.
of people that
There's-
move here every day.
I mean, we don't have to shovel snow. There is no
Yeah.
hurricanes. There is no earthquakes. So
we shovel sunshine. here, right?
exactly. So for the most part, it's an easy place to move into, and
Yeah.
it's fairly still affordable.
Shh, don't tell a lot of people they can't afford it.
I think a few people have found out about
Yeah,
it.
Yes.
I was one of those people. I mean, I
It's
honestly,
not a secret anymore.
it's not a secret anymore. And my husband and I did a lot of research before we moved here, and he goes, there's over 200 people that move here every day. And that was 2.5 years ago. And I've seen a lot of change since I moved here. Like there are buildings popped up and I'm like, where did that come from? And I know other people see it too. And I heard a realtor say in a networking meeting the other day, there's over 300 people a day move here now. And it is incredible to me that
And you
just
can
the
tell
amount of
where they
people.
come from.
Oh,
Because they're the people that are behind you that honk horns at the, as soon as the light turns green. It's like,
Hurry up.
my word, I wonder where you're from.
Right.
Yeah, couldn't be California.
No.
Anyway, okay, so
Look at the political climate, how
Yes,
it's changing
yes,
here as a
I
result
agree.
of all the...
Yeah, it's true. And we kind of saw that the other day in the Naboo thing too. I was like, that's interesting. Looking around and seeing all the hands go up at different questions. It was quite interesting. It was a nice little conversation that we had, and it was nice. There wasn't any snarkiness that came with it. And that's what was really cool, because it was just a conversation that we had at Naboo. So that was really awesome. Wes, did you have any more questions that came up? No? Okay. I wanted to, before we close out here today, Wendy, please tell everybody out there listening, how do we get a hold of you? How do we, and also how would they go about getting hold of Lutheran Services as well?
Oh, so Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest is lss-sw.org.
Okay.
And we do tours. That's a great place. If you're interested in doing that, please let me know. And then I'm Wendy Look, L-O-O-K. I have to spell it because it gets spelled wrong all the time. My maiden name is Hair, H-A-I-R. So I've been spelling my name.
That's what that is.
Yeah,
I thought you were like a hair freak or something.
No, that's my name.
Because you're on Facebook as Wendy Hair Look.
Oh, yeah. So, and you don't say it all together very fast.
Wendy
so,
Hair Look. There you go. Okay.
Crest Insurance, like the toothpaste. So crestins.com. And from there, on the producer page is all of the salespeople that work at Crest. So my contact information is there.
Fantastic.
Or wlook@crestins.com.
Fantastic. Awesome. And what about you, Ronit?
You can reach me by phone. Our office number is 480-483-7211. Our website is www.urman, URMANENT, short for enterprise, not for entertainment, .com.
Awesome. And then if someone wanted to get involved in Naboo, how would they go about doing that?
Again, we have a website, Naboo Phoenix.org. So NAWBOPHX.org. And just look us online. There is a phone number that you can call, and we can call you back. And
there's also an events page on there.
There
too,
is
right
events page.
I think that was probably the
and
best way to
everything.
go. Is that if you want to get involved in Naboo, go to the events page and check that out.
And you can come to a number of events without being a member. So
perfect.
Take
Awesome.
advantage of that.
Is there a limit to that, or
there is 2 for the neighborhood Naboos.
Just making sure.
2 times per event. Yeah.
Per event. Awesome. Well, that's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 times.
No.
You can
2 times to neighborhood Naboo. They are in 4 different locations now.
So just
2. You can visit 2 of them
and then make up your mind. I'll tell you, it only took me one time.
Program.
It only took me one time going, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, these ladies are awesome. I've got to join Naboo. So anyway,
I'm glad you did.
I am too. It was awesome. Well, we'd like to thank our guest today, Miss Wendy Look with Crest Insurance, and Ronit Urman with Urman Enterprises, LLC. We'd also like to thank Miss Karen Nowicki. She is the president and owner of Phoenix Business Radio X right here at Max 6 Conscious Workspace for this huge opportunity. Special thanks to our sponsors, Devin Ellsworth with VIP Mortgage and Team Referral Network Phoenix.
Life Made to Order Financial Phoenix specializes in teaching folks instead of telling them what to do with their finances by hosting live workshops across the country. Virtual workshops are also available multiple times a week.
Please visit lmtophxevents.com to see which workshop can fit into your schedule.
No risk, there's no fees. Safe retirement is done with ease.
You can also follow us on social media. Facebook is Life Made to Order Radio PHX. Instagram is LMTO_radio_PHX. And if you have Podbean, we do have a new channel there called Life Made to Order, and you can follow us there as well. Who do we have on next month, Wes?
I don't know. So tune in next month on May 28th at 1 p.m. for our guest, Kyle Timmons, owner of Office Evolution, and Andrew Hayes, is executive director of the Ahwatukee Chamber of Commerce. Until then, live your life made to order.